We be live. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Let me actually test the audio. Let me know if my audio is okay. I think the audio is fine. Yes, the audio is working. Guys, make sure you like the stream. How do you not like my new microphone? A lot of people told me that my microphone sucks and my audio quality could be better. So now I went and got a new microphone. I hope you're happy. Please let me know if you prefer this mic and the audio is good. And oh, Dolly is here. Thank you so much. Dolly is saying the audio is good. Alfred is also here. Alfred is going to be highlighting your comments. As you can see, the comments are being highlighted. Alfred will make your comments be part of the show as well. Today, we are reviewing more British reverts. And by reverts, we mean converts to Islam. When they say reverts, they call themselves reverts because they think that everybody was born a Muslim. So if you convert to Islam, you're technically going back to Islam. By the way, another good thing about this mic is that it helps me remember to sit straight because I'm usually like this, but now I'm going to be like this. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Dali. Now I'm gonna always sit straight so I make sure that my mouth is close to the mic. But it's good, right? It's good. My audio is better. Is my audio better? Is that good? I did it for you guys. Okay, you guys told me that. Other streams that we watch, the audio is so crisp. Why is your audio not as good as theirs? So I went and invested in the microphone. Okay, so I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. It's Dolly's like it's glowing. Yes, it glows. It glows. All right, so Dolly prepared all of these videos for me to review for you guys. So thank you so much, Dolly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's look at what she has for us. Let me actually. So these are all reverts. By the way, I did a member only stream. I think yesterday. I don't remember. Yeah, and one of some of our members were dismissing how big of a deal it is for people to convert to Islam, and I was responding to them by saying that guys, you a lot of people didn't take us seriously when we were warning about the spread of Islam in Europe and North America, especially Europe, 10 years ago, and now people are taking that seriously. So now they look at the numbers of conversions now and they're like, okay, that doesn't seem that big of an issue. And I'm telling you, take this very seriously. So immigration and having a lot of children is the main way Islam is spreading right now. But this, you see her, you see this woman right next to me, okay? This is going to be the face of Islam in the next decade or two, right? This is what Islam is going to look like. You know how every time I show a Muslim woman, she's a Muslim, she's a Muslim, and you know how every time I show a Muslim woman that doesn't have a hijab, there are people in the comments or in live chat saying like, if she's a Muslim, where's her hijab? 10 years from now, you're not going to say that because this is going to be the face of Islam. And if this is the face of Islam, Islam will be spreading a lot easier in the future. And it's going to be competing with the numbers that you're seeing from migration and Muslims having more children. The conversion rate and the spread of Islam by people who are being convinced that this is the right path is going to be comparable. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who's liking the stream. Yeah, let other people know that you're liking the stream in the live chat so that other people get convinced that it's a good investment in this channel. Okay, you spend 1 second and this channel grows faster. All right, so let's watch what she has to say. This is our first Muslim convert. So she has 2 videos. So this is part 1, and then there's part 2. We'll watch them side by side. Let's listen what she has to say. Okay, so she's responding to a comment. So let's read the comment before we hear what she has to say. I think she will read the comment. So the comment was, no hate at all, but what made you decide to revert to Islam? I don't know. Is that X at the end a kiss? I think that's a kiss. Isn't that a kiss? X at the end is a kiss, I think. Am I getting that correct? I don't know. Okay, so she's going to read that comment and then she's going to respond to it. Let's listen to her. The whole video is only 3 minutes. So I'm going to listen to it without pausing so we get an understanding of what this is about. By the way, I went and removed the music from these videos with AI before I did this. So you're welcome. So because I wouldn't be able to do that, we would have gotten a copyright strike because of all the music they had in the background. So let's listen to this. This is the music-free version.
This isn't hate at all, it's genuine curiosity, and that speaks volumes, so I'll answer this question. It definitely was a slow process, I will say that. It wasn't an overnight thing. I grew up in a place where there was no multiculturalism, no diversity, so I learned about it by crossing paths with someone that was Muslim, and then from there it kind of intrigued me, because when you know someone that's kind or doing so many things right in their lives, it makes you think, okay, what are they doing that I can learn from? Hence why it's so important as a Muslim to represent the religion positively and be a kind person, because that actually is the thing that leads people towards Islam the most. And then from there, I started listening to Hamza Yusuf, Bilal Assad, and a couple of others, and I thought they were good for general life direction, i.e. take the Quran out of mind. Actually, it's just good life advice, and it made me feel very peaceful, so that's where it started. I also started to change my For You page and the content creators that I followed, and started following Muslim women, not just hijabis, but just those that were kind of leading their life through Islam. And they didn't even have to mention Islam. I just started to notice that the accounts that I follow started to change slightly, and I just appreciated their more modest fashion, or how they spoke, or how they looked towards their family. So many things. It didn't have to be directly Islam. And then before reverting, I started to live like a Muslim, just because I thought that would make me feel easier about the whole journey, and it'd be less of a shock and less of a jump. So I started praying. I fasted a couple of days in Ramadan a couple of years ago. And I was learning slowly but surely. But it definitely wasn't linear, and that's what I would say my biggest bit of advice is not going to be linear. I definitely didn't adopt that full time, and there were times of weakness, even just last year and before I reverted, when I would go back to typical ways that other people around me were doing where I grew up, drinking, going out, partying, etc. But then I got to a point wherein I was trying to mimic a lot of the actions that I would do fully if I had reverted. And I was in a place where I was kind of in no man's land, wherein I hadn't reverted, so hadn't joined the Muslim community, and I didn't have the support because of that. But then I'd almost waved goodbye to old habits and past life, and maybe past company that was just revolved around talking about boys and going out and etc. So I got to a point where I pragmatically thought about it and thought, what is the worst that could happen? And I looked into all of the different ways of being when you are a Muslim, and looked.
All right, so that was part one. By the way, I forgot to mention her account, because when we use someone's oh no, that's not it. Hold on, I copied the wrong thing. Copy. Hold on, I copied and pasted the wrong thing. Okay, so this is her account name, right? For people who want to go look her up. So that was the first part. And again, guys, as Dolly is pointing in the live chat, she had a lot of music on this, and the music was so loud compared to her audio. It was really hard to understand what she was saying. So it's more understandable now when I remove the music. But even with that crazy music, she got 4,000 likes. How many views did she got on this video? Hold on, let me see. I cannot. Okay. Yeah, great. TikTok sucks at a platform. Oh, now I'm looking at her account. She's becoming hijabi now. She's going towards becoming hijabi recently. Anyways, I don't know, but she's getting a lot of views on her revert videos. But anyways, did you notice the whole theme? And again, guys, this is very strategic. And I'm going to say something here that is going to offend a lot of you. We actually have to learn from Muslims, right? Because if you actually paid attention to what she said, the judgment on whether or not this is the right decision for her is based on the observation of Muslims and how they are, right? So I'm an ex-Muslim. The reason why I became an ex-Muslim is because I look at the ideology and I look at the evidence and the arguments being made for it, and I was convinced that not the arguments or the evidence is not there. This ideology does not make any sense. But most people don't operate like that. Most people don't. Again, this is a human feature. I'm not like trying to say. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. Humans are a social animal, and their beliefs are meant to most people is not meant to represent something that could explain reality to them. For most people, their beliefs is meant to act as an identity card and a membership card. And if you want to join, if you're shopping for identity and membership, you look into two things. You look at the identity of the other people in different clubs or in different tribes. Look at, because identity is kind of like fashion. You wear it and you see if it fits or if you feel comfortable with it, right? So if you're shopping for identity, you look at other people wearing that clothes and you see how it fits them, and if you like yourself seeing your if you enjoy seeing yourself in that position. So when it comes to a membership card, you see, if I join this club, if I join this tribe, would I be welcome in it? Are there a lot of people there that will appreciate me joining it? When it comes to an identity card, you look at how they're wearing that identity, and then you try to imagine yourself wearing it. It's kind of like fashion. Does it fit me? Does it feel good when I'm wearing it? To judge that, it's not like what many of us did here as ex-Muslims. It's not like, okay, look, let's look at this and see if this makes logical sense. They're making this claim here. Well, where's the historical or the scientific evidence for it? It's not that. It's you look at how confident and comfortable and the manners of the people who you're following on Instagram. Like, oh, I like to be like that. And then if it feels good, then you will buy that belief, right? And this is what a lot of you guys don't understand. This is why I'm telling you, if we want to win this war, the reason why I advocate being anti-Islam and not anti-Muslim, it's not just because it's just moral to not to be nice to people. It's also strategic, because if you are mean to people, then your identity looks disgusting, right? The identity of the people who are being welcoming and kind, that's the identity that they want to go towards. So kindness is a weapon here. Kindness is a weapon, right? And I saw a lot of people saying that in the live chat, like, oh, you haven't experienced Afghanistan's Islam or Saudi Arabia's Islam. Well, I mean, she's not in Afghanistan, she's not in Saudi Arabia, she's in the UK, and she's noticing a lot of Muslims on social media in the UK, and she's relating to that. Obviously, like, oh no, that's not true Islam. Afghanistan Islam is true Islam. Well, she's not buying the beliefs of Islam. She's buying the identity of Islam, and the identity is basically what she's experiencing. Right? She's not. You might think that this is not logical. It's not logical in the sense, you're right. It's not logical in the sense that Islam is not logical, but it is logical in the sense that if there is no way for her to feel that she belongs to somewhere, or that she doesn't have it, or that she misses an identity that she could feel happy with, then she's going to with whatever cult or group or club or tribe that will provide that. It makes sense when you're thinking about the fact that humans are, it's logical for you to satisfy your natural emotional desires. Humans are social animals, and she basically, when it comes to her judging what satisfies that, she's looking at the market, and Islam is providing that. We cannot just cry about it. You have to compete with it. So let's actually listen to this second by second.
This isn't hate at all, it's genuine curiosity, and that speaks volumes, so I'll answer this question. It definitely was a slow.
No, so look at this. Somebody in the comments saying, just another empty person looking for a ready-made identity to make her feel relevant. That's you're describing humanity. This is what humans have been doing ever since humans existed. We all would feel empty if society or our tribe, and again, when it comes to modernity, things are changing so fast that the traditional identities or tribes or groups that were there, they're breaking apart, and society is not providing alternatives quick enough. So of course people are going to feel empty and make you're acting like she's doing something wrong, just another empty person. Well, we will humans will naturally feel empty if society doesn't provide them with an identity and membership that they could feel happy and comfortable with, right? And to make yourself feel relevant, again, feeling relevant, important, feeling a sense of belonging, a sense of awe, a sense of significance, this is not an insult. This is the human experience. You're describing the human experience. Oh, thank you, Mary. Mary saying small donation for the mic. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. All right, let's continue.
Process, I will say that it wasn't an overnight thing. I grew up in a place where there was no multiculturalism, no diversity. So I learned about it by crossing paths with someone that was Muslim, and then from there it kind of intrigued me, because when you know someone that's kind or doing so many things right in their lives, it makes you think, okay, what are they doing that I can learn from? Hence why it's so important as a Muslim to represent the religion positively. And
so see, for her, the religion is basically looking at other Muslims, and if they're kind, that would be a reflection of the religion for her, right? This reminds me because back in the day, I used to listen to a lot of training content by Christian missionaries, right? And one thing that kept on coming over and over and over again when it comes to these training videos, basically these were expert Christian missionaries talking to people who are just entering the field, was don't talk about Jesus. Do not talk about Jesus. Like, that was their method. No, I know some other people have different methods, but that specific missionary group was just be there for people, just do things for them, make sure that you're the guy, just go into their life and be the best person that you could be. And if they need to move, just be there to move their stuff for them. If they need something fixed, offer to fix them for free for them. If they need somebody to watch over their dog, be there for them, right? Just make them notice that you are an amazing human being, and make it also discoverable that you're a Christian, right? Don't tell them about Jesus. They will eventually ask you about Jesus. That is genius. That is because they will look at you. I'm like, I want this life. I want this life. And when it comes to atheism, people attribute that to temporary pleasures that are meaningless and will not fulfill you. They try to link that to partying, drinking alcohol, drugs, just meaningless sex, right? But then that's what they try to link to atheism, and Christians and Muslims will come and show you, look at the people who are Muslim, look at the people who are Christian. They have something better. And then instead of the Bible or instead of the Quran, you look at that life and like, they have figured something out. I want that life. And you will make them come to you instead of you going to them. This is incredibly strategic. And this is what a lot of anti-Islam activists don't understand. Because when they meet a Muslim, they hate Islam so much that they want to be mean to that Muslim. And that's the best way to push them more into Islam. Anyways, let's continue.
Be a kind person, because that actually is the thing that leads people towards Islam the most. And then from there, I started listening to Hamza Yusuf, Bilal Assad, and a couple of others, and I thought they were good for general life direction, i.e. take the Quran out of mind. Actually, it's just good life advice, and it made me feel very peaceful, so that's where it started. I also started to change my For You page and the content creators that I followed.
And also, guys, if you think like, how could she find Quran peaceful? Like, I read the Quran. A lot of you have read the Quran. It's one of the most insanely barbaric, violent books out there. This book is filled with hate. Like the main theme of the Quran is hate, hating, especially hating kafirun, hating mushrikun, kafirun, infidels, apostates, hating, hating, hating. If there's one theme in the Quran that is consistent, is hate, right? But you might like, is she insane? How could she read the Quran and think like, oh my god, this is peaceful? Well, no, because this is a feature of religion. It's all flexible. She doesn't have to understand the Quran the way it was meant to be understand. She just has to understand the Quran in the way that it's being understood by kind, gentle people who happen to be Muslim. That is the Quran that you read is not the Quran that she read. She understands a different Quran, a Quran that has gone through a filter of the interpretation of Muslims who are being very, very kind and welcoming. That is her Quran, right? And again, the flexibility is what makes Islam survive. The fact that the it there's enough, it doesn't have to be very ambiguous, but there's enough ambiguity for you to be able to make whatever you want out of it, and that's what makes it more dangerous.
And started following Muslim women, not just hijabis, but just those that were kind
Okay,
of.
so somebody keep this highlighted, Alfred. Somebody saying she's not a real Muslim, she's stupid idiot, she never seen the true face of Islam. Please buy that BITCH, a ticket to Afghanistan. This is why we fail. No, keep it highlighted, Alfred. Keep it highlighted. Bring it back. Okay. This is why we fail. This is why our movement is going to fail. Okay. First of all, she is a real Muslim. A Muslim by definition is somebody who believes in Allah, believes in Muhammad as the last prophet, or even just the prophet, if you want to be more inclusive, believes the Quran is the direct word of God. She doesn't have to have a certain type of behavior for her to be a Muslim. She just has to have certain beliefs. Even if she's not following it completely, by definition, she would be a Muslim. Both the Islamic definition and the worldwide usage of the word Muslim, by those definitions, she would be considered a Muslim. So you're wrong over there. And then you're saying she's a stupid idiot. First of all, she's not. And that language is going to make us not, basically you as an anti-Islam person is calling her a stupid idiot. The Muslim community is treating her nicely and kindly, and she will look at you and she will look at them and she will move towards them. So and also, it's not stupid if you look at the marketplace of identities and the marketplace of memberships, and you listen to your own desires, and you see that no other people are not providing that for you, and that community is. And if you understand yourself that will give me comfort and move towards it, then that's not being stupid. The failure is mostly on our part, the society's part, for not providing her an alternative that resonates with her. So we are the problem. And then says she never seen the true face of Islam. She doesn't need to see the true face of Islam. She needs to see the face of the Muslim community that is right next to her. The true face of Islam is irrelevant. Islam is an excuse. The Muslim community that will accept her if she accepts Islam is what's relevant to her personal life. And then it says, please buy that, swear word, a ticket to Afghanistan. Why? She's comfortable where she is. And calling her a B word is not helpful. Also, let me see if we have a super chat here. Oh, thank you so much. We have 15 shekels from Alfred. Can you give me her name so I could pronounce it properly? She is saying, hey, just wondering if you will visit us again. Would be great to meet you. One day I will come back to Israel. One day I will come back to Israel. I hope by that time I have so many friends in Israel that there will be a lot of people for me to meet when I come back to Israel. Yeah. Thank you. All right, let's continue.
Leading their life through Islam, and they didn't even have to mention Islam. I just started to notice that the accounts that I
See, they didn't even have to mention Islam. It goes back to the same exact missionary tactic that I learned about years ago.
follow.
Oh, so wait, Alfred is saying her name was Shireen Barsaloh. Shireen Barsaloh. Thank you so much, Alfred. Afshin. Where did Afshin come from? Thank you for that. So let's continue.
Started to change slightly, and I just appreciated their more modest fashion, or how they spoke, or how they looked towards their family. So many things. It didn't have to be directly Islam. And then before reverting, I started to live like a Muslim, just because I thought that would make me feel easier about the whole journey and it'd be less of a shock and less of a jump. So I started praying. I fasted a couple of days in Ramadan a couple of years ago. And I was learning slowly but surely. But it definitely wasn't linear, and that's what I would say my biggest bit of advice. It's not going to be linear. I definitely didn't adopt that full time, and there were times of weakness, even just last year and before I reverted, when I would go back to typical ways that other people around me were doing where I grew up, drinking, going out, partying, etc.
So see, the lack of religion is associated with drinking, partying, and temporarily pleasure. So it's the pleasures that they are trying to associate with having no religion have two features. First of all, they're temporary rather than long-lasting happiness, and also they are harmful if they are not done in the proper way or in a limited way. So they talk about the type of sexual experiences that might be harmful, drinking, excessive partying, and drugs. And they link that to not having a guidance in your life, not having a blueprint on what you're supposed to do. And because society is not giving them a guidance or something that could give them a path to the right direction, they associate that lifestyle with uh, not having a community that will hold their hand and try to help them out of that direction, right? And again, having the lack of community is an issue. Like, what are guys, what are the alternative communities? You can't expect the state to come and tell you how to live your life, but humans do need guidance. You cannot ask everyone to be an individual and be individualistic and just figure everything out themselves. Humans do require communities and guidance. So if you're telling people not to go into that direction, what is your alternative? Oh, thank you, Alex.
But then I got to a point wherein I was trying to mimic a lot of the actions that I would do fully if I had reverted. And I was in a place where I was kind of in no man's land, wherein I hadn't reverted, so hadn't joined the Muslim community, and I didn't have the support because of that. But then I'd almost waved goodbye to old habits and past life and maybe past company that was just revolved around talking about boys and going out and etc. So I got to a point where I pragmatically thought about it and thought, what is the worst that could happen? And I looked into all of the different ways of being when you are a Muslim and looked.
Okay, let's do part two.
The worst that could happen. And I looked into all of the different ways of being when you are a Muslim and looked at the physical and mental advantages of it so that I could understand the pragmatic benefits. Let's take intermittent fasting, for example. Take us out of it that it's part of Islam and Ramadan and I just wanted
this part of the music was not removed.
the scientific benefits of it, and actually there are so many. And you don't even
I don't understand. Okay, so let's forget her because this part is.
if I don't do this,
I don't understand why this part of the music was left in. So let's just go to the next girl. But before, so I think we already made the point with her. Yeah, that was the music. Like Dolly is saying, that was the music. Imagine having to listen to that with that music with vocals. That she didn't pick the right music. Anyways, it was so hard to listen to her, especially part two. Anyways, let's go to this next woman. But let me actually respond to some of your comments before I do that. Somebody saying our apostasy rate is at least 25%. Yes, and conversion rate is now competing with the apostasy rate, and it's also increasing. They're both increasing. However, what you have to understand is that the conversion rate being high, even if you have a lot of people leaving Islam, again, we need that. Imagine if we didn't have a competing rate with people leaving Islam. But the thing is that even when people are leaving Islam, but the fact that people are also in comparable numbers are converting to Islam, that means this is going to be a large part the future the face of Islam, right? So let's say a lot of Muslims leave Islam, at 25%, but they replace that with new Muslims that look like her, for example. That is still in their favor. And also, you have to understand the strategy is not for for Muslims to become a majority. The strategy is two points: for them to become a big enough minority to have both political and societal impact, and two, for them to be able to have key people in key places, right? And the people who leave Islam, that's a huge cost for this whole movement. But again, given that people are converting to Islam, a lot of them are going to be very influential. And that would be good enough for you to be able to stir the politics and the culture of a society in a different direction, because you just have a new mix of people with a new set of beliefs, with a new with a new mix of beliefs in society. Do you understand? So I don't have to become more than 50%. I just have to get my 6% to 10%. And for that 10%, for a lot of them to look more like the rest of society, and also for some of that 10% to have both the key to be key figures in media, in politics, and in business. That's all that is required. So let me see what else some people are saying before I play this video. If somebody's saying, if let's say in 10 years we will have more the saturated type of Islam, like how you see with Christianity, would that be threatening? So it depends on what you mean by desaturated. There's two processes. One of them is the secularization process, and the other one is reform, right? So secularization, that would be working in our advantage. Reform would be working against us. Reform is extremely dangerous. Secularization is extremely in our benefit. So secularization means that you keep the appearance and the rituals, but you remove the belief. Kind of what happened with Christmas. The Christianity part of Christmas is reduced. It's turned more and more into a secular activity. So the rituals, the appearance is there, but the religion, the belief, it becomes less of an important part of it. That secularization reduces religion, and that's in our benefit. Reform, it's again moves against us because that increases religion. Reform changes the appearance to save the religion. So they're basically the polar opposite. Secularization removes the belief but keeps the appearance. Reform changes the appearance to keep the belief. And our problem is with the belief. And that is dangerous. So we're anti-reform, we're pro-secularization. Anyways, does that make sense? Also, let me actually see. Gasian American with the super chat saying, do you think they will join or compete with Christian far right? I don't know what this means. Who? The Muslims? Do you join or compete with Christian? Well, both. Both. obviously we're going to have many different movements. This is going to be a very diversified, very diverse set of movements and beliefs. Obviously it's going to, Islam is going, and there's going to be internal conflict. Obviously many Muslims look at this and they cringe and we're like, what the hell is this? We don't like this, right? And many Muslims look at this and they welcome this. So some of them will be, have the similar views and maybe even joining um, Christian actual far right. I'm not when I say far right, I'm not talking about patriots. I'm not talking about nationalistic people. I'm talking about actual far right people. I know the word far right is being used now against patriotic people. That's not how I use it. And yes, some Muslims join those groups because they have some common views, and some people will compete with them and would be against them. So the answer is both. But okay. Gage American with another super chat said, if we made the triple a title, I don't understand what this means. Like Black Myth, Wukong with Abrahamic mythology, would that secularize or reform the religion? I don't understand this question, so I don't know how to answer it. But thank you for the support. Let's watch this video. And again, this one is only 1 minute, so let's watch it through and through and see how we could respond to it.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Alhamdulillah, I have reached home from my Malaysia trip, which was just absolutely amazing. But it made me think I need to start really putting in the effort as a revert to help other new reverts or people interested in Islam come together and create a community. With that being said, on Saturday, the 6th of January, between 1 and 3 p.m, inshallah, I will be hosting my first Revert Sisters Circle event. This will be at the Moroccan Corner. I'll put the address right here for you guys. The concept of this meetup is so that new reverts, or also people who are interested in Islam who haven't taken their Shahada yet, to create a community with Muslims where we can feel inspired and also feel like we have a strong bond together. Something that I wish I had when I reverted was people to speak to when I had questions that maybe I felt were too embarrassing to tell born Muslims. I will also be gifting everybody a new Muslim starter kit and also a lecture on how to pray Salah and the importance of modesty in Islam. If you're interested in getting involved in this event, please do message me on the Instagram down below, put your name and your number and I'll add you to the group chat inshallah. I really believe this is the best way to start the new year, spreading the love and beauty of Islam, inshallah.
Okay, so I forgot to mention her account. This is her account on TikTok. If I want to make sure that every time I use someone's content, I make sure I give credit to their account. Let me see how many. Wow, this video only by itself got 54,000 likes, not views, likes. So I don't even know how many views it got. I wish it would tell me. For me to tell how many views it got, I actually have to go to the main page and find a video, because nowhere on the page. TikTok really sucks. I don't understand why people. All right, so I don't know where this is. All right, so just imagine 54,000 likes. That would be a lot of views. And again, guys, see, she's not only a Muslim, she's doing events to advertise Islam. Tell me, when you tell when people are telling me in the live chat like, Armin, no, this is not a big deal. People are not converting to Islam. Who would want to convert to Islam? I mean, if this was the face of Islam, imagine this is just starting. I mean, we didn't see anything like this 10 years ago, right? But now we're seeing it. So imagine where are we going to be 10 years from now? This would be normal, right? If this is the face of Islam, are we not going to have more conversions to Islam if people are noticing on social media? Like if you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, and if somebody comes and talks about Islam, it's like a bearded man saying like, we're gonna do this to the unbelievers, like shouting, or like, oh my God, this guy is insane, you're gonna pass, right? But if more as time goes by, the more you see somebody like this coming, I'm like, maybe I should, I'm curious now. Like if this is somebody who's talking about Islam, like you're gonna go to that event. And especially if other people are coming like, oh no, Islam is bad. So that's actually makes it more appealing, because you're a teenager, you're seeing other attractive young people that look like you are converting to Islam. And the added benefit is some people are saying this is bad, you shouldn't do it. So I get to feel like a rebel as well. So I feel this is trendy, this is cool. And also some people hate it. Like when you guys are like, oh, these people are idiots, this is evil, you shouldn't become a Muslim, this is disgusting. That actually will fit the mindset of a teenager when it comes to picking a path, because by doing that, you're satisfying their desire to act like a rebel at the same time, because you hate it. You're showing how much you hate it. So they're rising up against you. You're giving them an opportunity to feel like they're standing up against something as well. Something. So, so that's, again, if you want to show people how bad Islam is, again, this is why you should try to do it in a friendly way, right? But again, let's watch this one more time because there were some points that I wanted to highlight.
Alhamdulillah, I have reached home.
So look at these are guys, you have no idea how many Muslims around the world will watch this and they will jizz in their pants. Okay, you have a blonde white woman starting the video by saying Alhamdulillah. Look,
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Alhamdulillah,
yeah, this by itself has made many Muslim men around the world just automatically jizz their pants. Okay, they have to go change their underwear now. Okay, just that line by itself right there.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Alhamdulillah, I have reached home from my Malaysia trip, which was just absolutely amazing. But it made me think I need to start really putting in the effort as a revert to help other new reverts or people interested in Islam come together and create a community. With that being said, on Saturday, the 6th of January, between 1 and 3.
And again, so now look how effective this is. This, not only she is now feeling like a member of a community and a new identity and a new chapter in her life, she is doing this event and she's going to get a lot of attention for it. And a lot of you will be tempted like, oh, attention whore, just attention seeking, blah, 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 blah. As if that is not a genuine human need. Okay, again, when you want to make fun of people for being attention seeking, that's the human experience. That's a human desire to seek attention. Do you understand what being a social animal means? Being a social animal means that you require validation. You require to be seen by the rest of the society and for some of the society to approve what you're doing. That is a human desire. So instead of making fun of people for being attention seeking, understand that it is you who are failing, you as a society, not you as individually, for not giving her an alternative to be able to satisfy that attention seeking desire. But look how effective. In fact, she's a genius. You think she's stupid? She's not stupid. She is a young woman who requires validation and to be seen. Okay? And she has found a very effective way of satisfying those desires. She's not an idiot. She's actually being very smart.
3 p.m. inshallah, I will be hosting my first Revert Sisters Circle event. This will be at the Moroccan Corner. I'll put the address right here for you guys. The concept of this meetup is so that new reverts or also people who are interested in Islam who haven't taken their shahada.
And some people are saying, making fun of her. She's asking for money. She's seeking money. This is just for money. Okay. And I mean, I don't know if it is for that, but let's say it is. And she's going to get it. Right. What a lot of people make, I don't know. Some people feel like, are you commies? Like, why so many people are anti-money right here in this chat? If she's doing this to get more, to also make more money on, while satisfying so many other of her desires, then guess what? She's going to make money from it. So she's going to win. So that makes her not an idiot.
Yeah, to create a community.
It's money. Oh, it's money, Armin. Oh, wow. Then that makes her smart. If that is what she's doing, then she's going to succeed. So she's not stupid. So so it's more of a win for her. she got a community, she got an identity, she got a lot of attention, which is the human desire. You're telling me she's getting money on top of that as well? Well, good on her then. Like, she's getting so many things, then why would you call her an idiot then?
With Muslims, where we can feel inspired and also feel like we have a strong bond together. One thing that I wish I had when I reverted was people to speak to when I had questions that maybe I felt were too embarrassing to tell born Muslims. I will also be gifting everybody a new Muslim starter kit and also a lecture on how to praise Salah and the importance of modesty in Islam. If you're interested in getting involved in this event, please do message me on the Instagram down below, put your name and your number, and I'll add you to the group chat, inshallah. I really believe this is the best way to start the new year, spreading the love and beauty of Islam, inshallah.
All right. The reason why I'm showing you these guys is for us to slowly come up with more than, I mean, we have to attack Islam. We have to expose how disgusting Islam is. Okay, that is part of our battle, and we should do that. But what the reason why I'm showing you this is to convince you that that is part of the battle. It's not enough. It's not enough. We as modernity is changing society too fast, and there's no stopping it. And if you want to keep modern nation states alive and healthy, there's a third element that we need to add to the whole equation, right? Because everybody looks at the individual and the state. It's either the individual or the state. That's why we keep looking at the state like, hey, come solve this problem. But so many of these problems is not a state problem to solve. And then we look at the individual, and then we want to promote individualism so that we don't have a herd mentality that we're just following things with no reason. But the individual is not equipped, the individual is not powerful enough to be able to provide alternatives to these human needs. The individual cannot compete with this. So if it's not the state, if it's not the individual, what is the third element? It's communities. We need to find out, because these are communities that are providing a human need. We have to figure out how using a liberal tradition, using a liberal mindset, what is the communities? So basically we're trying to be communitarians here. We are, from a political perspective, we believe in the modern liberal republican nation state as a model. From an individual perspective, we believe in a scientifically minded, self-reliant individual that is going around observing the universe and trying to figure out how to come up with the best solutions for him or herself to survive and achieve his or her dreams. But then we also have to figure out what, from a liberal, that's a liberal mind when it comes to an individual, a liberal mind when it comes to politics. But then we have to also provide a third element. What is a liberal mind? What does a liberal mind provide when it comes to the in between these two forces, which is the community? Does the liberal mind have anything to offer when it comes to community building? And what would that look like? So let's go to the third video. Okay, so what is this one? This one is another revert talking about her experience. And again, I will go get her account while I play it. So let's just play it while I go get her account. I'll put it in the live chat.
What were my thoughts on Ramadan before I was Muslim? What are they now that I am Muslim? Well, I'm going to be honest, Josh. I used to work with some Muslims in my old job, and I was always really respectful, but I can never really get my head around what exactly it was or why they couldn't eat. And I always saw everybody looked really thirsty. That's because they were sometimes pale, very dry lips, and obviously quite lethargic. Now I understand what you do in Ramadan. I get the reason why. Now I just understand it more and appreciate it because I'm part of it. It's part of what I need to do. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which are basically the pillars that you need to follow to be a Muslim. I hope that explains.
Actually, even if you don't follow it, you're still a Muslim. If even if you don't fast, you're still a Muslim. You just have to believe that it's required for you to follow. And if you're not following it, it's a sin. But even if you're not fasting, you're still a Muslim. You're just a Muslim who's sinning. So the question that she's responding to on TikTok is, what were your thoughts on Ramadan before you were a Muslim, to then after, how did your perception change? Right. So she noticed a lot of thirsty ass people. And again, by the way, this is her account. No, that's not her account. Why didn't I not copy it properly? Hold on. I copied the wrong. Sometimes when I hit copy, it doesn't actually copy. Okay, now I got it. This is her. She's becoming a very famous revert, by the way, or a convert to Islam on TikTok. So she's getting a lot of views, but these videos. So, by the way, guys, fasting, dry fasting is objectively bad for you unless like very rare conditions and situations, right? Islamic fasting, when it comes to water fasting that includes some salt, okay, there are different views about that. Again, not health advice. Go check out do your own research, right? But there might be some benefit to water fasting. Water fasting means that might be, go research, okay? There are disagreements over that. Means that you don't eat for the period of time, but you drink water. There's no benefits from not drinking water for large periods of time. Absolutely not. Unless, I don't know, maybe you need to go do a test and you shouldn't be drinking water so that test is successful. Drinking water is objectively a good thing. It's very hard to drink too much water. There's always a limit, an upper limit, but most people are not drinking enough water. Okay, actually, let's stay hydrated. Guys, stay hydrated. Do not fast Islamically. Staying hydrated is very important. Islamic fasting is objectively bad for your health, right? So there's two types of fasting: water fasting, dry fasting. Water fasting, meaning like maybe you don't, for example, eat anything from, or I don't know, 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, whatever, but you're drinking water. It could be, especially for people with diabetes, it could be beneficial. Again, not health advice. Go do your own research, okay? But dry fasting, meaning that for a long period of time, not only you don't eat food, you don't drink water as well. That is horrible. That is extremely harmful. Do not do that. Do not do that unless a doctor or a health expert is specifically telling you to do that for a specific reason. But otherwise, do not. Drink more water. Drink more water. All right? Stay hydrated. So Islam is objectively destructive and harmful for your health. That is, so wait, what was her? And also, she's not getting Islam correctly either. She's like, if you're required to agree that this is required for you to remain a Muslim. So, guys, again, I explained this to everybody. In Islam, if you do not do one of the commandments of Allah, for example, if Allah tells you not to drink alcohol, if you drink alcohol, that doesn't mean you're not a Muslim anymore. Let's say I'm a Muslim and I'm drinking alcohol. Am I still a Muslim? Yes, I'm still a Muslim. I'm just a Muslim who's sinning right now. Okay. For me to be able to be kicked out of the fold of Islam, to be takfired, as they say, is for me to deny that this is a sin, that this is a commandment of Allah. So if I'm drinking, let's say I'm a Muslim and I'm drinking, or if I'm not fasting, and you come and tell me, Armin, you're a Muslim, why are you drinking? Or why are you eating on Ramadan? If I respond to you like, yes, it's a sin, I know, I'm weak, I shouldn't be doing this, that means I'm still a Muslim. But if I come to you and tell you that, no, this is not a sin, I am allowed to drink in Islam, then from an Islamic perspective, you could be takfired, mean kicked out of the fold of Islam. There's two definitions of Muslim: the internal definition, the external definition. From an Islamic perspective, because I deny that this is a commandment of Allah, then I could be takfired. However, globally, the way the word Muslim is used, they might still refer to you as a Muslim, right? But internally, according to Islamic schools of thought, then you could be takfir. But again, this video, wow, this frame looks okay. Again, you can see that anything could be justified. It doesn't matter. Like, we have objective scientific proof that dry fasting is bad for you, but it doesn't matter. They could come up with an excuse to make everything look good, because the point is not for them to be objectively correct. The point is that this is now my tribe, and I'm going to defend it no matter what. So let's go to the next video. Oh, this is another famous revert. She's becoming very popular on TikTok because of her being a revert. Let me actually get her account. Abby Hafiz. Did she change her last name? No, why did I keep... The Control C doesn't work. I have to actually right click and click copy. All right, so this is her account, and now let's listen to what she has to say.
You're born Muslim or you found is.
Oh wait, so actually let me give you the context. The context says, don't walk by blind faith. Oh, so she's going to explain to us how Islam doesn't promote blind faith, I think. So let's listen to her.
Whether you were born Muslim or you found Islam like me and you're a Muslim revert, you still need to find Islam and connect to Allah on your own. In the Quran, it says in Al-Isra, number 17, and the verse 36, do not follow what you do not know, for the ear and the eye and the heart shall all be called to account. So don't walk by blind faith. Don't just follow what your parents told you. Learn your religion. Really take ownership of your faith and your connection with Allah. Only you can grow your connection with Allah, not your parents. It's all up to you.
All right, so hold on. I just went and looked at some other verses because she's talking about not following blind faith. Like, let me actually listen to the last part at one time.
So don't walk by blind faith. Don't just follow what your parents told you. Learn your religion. Really take ownership of your faith and your connection with Allah. Only you can grow your connection with Allah, not your parents. It's all up to you.
All right,
Number
so
17.
Hold on, wait, stop. So it's not just number 17. So let's look at this one as well. Let me actually make this. Why is this so small? Okay, that's better. This one says, I think this is the same chapter but a different verse. For example, verse 36 it says, do not follow blindly what you do not know to be true. Ears, eyes, and heart, you will be questioned about all these. Okay, so the Quran, does mention not to follow things blindly, but then it asks you to follow things blindly, because what does it mean to follow things blindly? It means to accept something without questioning it, to accept something without you having evidence for it. So it's true that the Quran does mention to not follow things blindly, but then when it asks you to accept its message, the way that it asks you to do that is basically the same as blind faith. Let me actually, for example, let's look at a couple of other verses, right? So this is chapter 49, verse 15. This one says, the true believers are the ones who have faith in God and his messengers and leave all doubt behind, right? Like, lack of skepticism is one of the attributes of blind faith, right? And it says the ones who have struggled with their positions and their persons. Okay, so that's a different. This I just wanted to. There's a lot of verses in the Quran that tells you not to be skeptical, to just do not doubt, which is basically blind faith, right? And then we have other verses For example, this one, what does this one says? This is chapter 5, verse 101 says, you who believe, mu'minun, meaning Muslims. By the way, in the Quran, if somebody actually reads the Quran and understands the Quran, mu'minun and muslimin are different groups, right? So the people who believe and the people who submit are two categories. These days, Muslims don't understand this. Muslims think mu'minun are the Muslims in the Quran, but the people who have believed and the people who have submitted are two different categories that are, the Quran makes it very clear that these are not the same people. So mu'mineen and muslimin are separate from each other. Okay, and most Muslims, this is a very subtle thing that I don't know if you guys want me to get into those details. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, but again, every time every time the it says ya ayyuhallazina amanu, those people who have believed. Every time Muslims read the Quran today, they think that this is referring to all Muslims, right? But it's not. Anyways, but let's read it from the perspective of Muslims today. When it says you who believe, they basically now it means Muslims. Do not ask about matters which, if made known to you, might make things difficult for you. So when people are questioning, like if the Quran is being revealed, Islam being revealed, there are certain questions that you might have. There are things that needs to be clarified. Things don't make sense to you. The Quran warns you that do not do not ask about those things. If you knew these things, God would make it difficult for you. Things would be other people before you came and asked these questions, and the result was not good. If you ask about them while the Quran is being revealed, so basically you have issues with parts of Quran. This verse is basically telling you to just accept what is being revealed to you. They will be made known to you, for God has kept silent about them. If you ask about them while the Quran is being revealed, this is a warning. That if God makes these things known to you, then you're truly effed. Right? So here's another, for example, verse that makes that very clear that you shouldn't be questioning things. And again, there's a little bit of a anti-Semitism here as well. So tell me why this is anti-Semitic. This is Quran, Surah Baqarah, Ayah 108. Do you wish to demand of your messenger, meaning Muhammad, something similar to what was demanded of Moses? Whoever exchanges faith for disbelief has strayed far from the right path. Right? So this is basically saying the Arabs should not repeat what the Jews did. The Jews were questioning a questioning bunch of people. And if you question Muhammad, your fate will be the same as the fate of the Jews. So basically this verse is saying don't be like the Jews, right? So this verse cautions believers against questioning the Prophet Muhammad in a manner similar to how Moses was questioned by Israelites, suggesting that excessive questioning can lead to doubt and disbelief, and it's trying to avoid doubt. And there's a ton of other verses like this. This was just like I just spent 3 minutes to grab a couple of them. But there's so many verses in the Quran that warns you about questioning things and sees doubt and skepticism as a bad thing. That is basically asking for blind faith, while also saying do not have blind faith. That's a contradiction. Anyways, let's go to the next British revert. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Sarah is saying, so proud of you, Armin. If you would have not raised awareness, who would? Oh, thank you, Sarah. I mean, other people are doing it as well, to be fair, but thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. That gives me a lot of energy, Sarah. Thank you for being here and saying stuff like that. Yes, Sandra is agreeing with me. A sense of belonging is a basic need for human beings. I completely agree with Sandra. Completely right. Oh, somebody is asking, so what does atheism give people? Nothing. Atheism is not supposed to give people anything. That's why we need, beyond just atheism, we need more than atheism. Atheism just tells you, atheism is just a lack of belief in God. There's nothing added to it, right? So that's why atheism is not enough. That's why when it comes to politics, we say, at least I here on this channel, for example, we believe in liberalism. So we believe in humanism, we believe in liberalism, we believe in utilitarianism, we believe in empiricism, we believe in skepticism. These are all additional things that you need above and beyond atheism, right? Because atheism itself by itself does not provide these things. That's why I end the show by saying stay liberal. We start with atheism, but we end with liberalism. Okay, and also we're still in the process right now. Like at least this channel, like when it comes to, so I myself have really good answers. I think when it comes to, from a state perspective, the classical liberalism. I think that's the answer. When it comes to the individual is scientifically minded individualism. I think that is the answer. Okay, but when it comes to the middle ground, the community aspect, that is, I'm still in the process of discovery and research and reading, okay, and educating myself. And I want to do that with you guys. I want us to grow together. So I'm saying atheism gives you freedom from religion. Yeah, it does that, but that's not enough, obviously, right? You're free from religion, free to do what? Okay, so that's the question. Yes, atheism frees you from religion. Now what? What are you going to do with that freedom? So it would require an answer to that. So let's watch this one. This is another white British revert. And she's being rejected for marriage just because she's white. Wow, I actually haven't watched this video. So let's see what she's saying.
Salam guys, I'm actually going to speak on something that I think a lot of reverts have already spoken about, and there's coming like more news to it, but when people do speak out about it, they get the harm police on them, telling them they've converted for a man. So here I am, I'm going to do it today. Okay, look, I'm not here to stereotype, but let's just be realistic about it. Most of Muslims are brown. Brown, black, a lot of Muslims are not white. So why is it so hard for a white revert to get married? Like, why do people care more about your culture rather than your religion? You could be so on deen, you could be praying, 5 times, trying your best to get as much Islamic knowledge as possible. But because you're white, you will not be allowed to marry someone's son. Why is it that it's made so difficult to get married as a white revert? And not only that, you get the judgment, you get the stereotypes, but why is culture more important than Islam? Whose word are you taking?
Oh, look at it. It got caught. I was thinking what's happening here, and I had an answer, and she gave it. You know what? But she gave it, but the audio was not played. Oh my God. So I was thinking that this is not right. I know for a fact that within the Muslim market for marriage, there is a lot of demand for white women. So what the hell is she talking about? And while she was talking, I was thinking, this is not because Muslim men don't want white women. This must be their moms or the community in general, right? So you want white women, but you also want to make sure that you're accepted by the community, especially the mom part of the community. So the part of the audio that was cut and didn't make it into the video, people are saying exactly. So look, everything is being, look at this.
Culture more important than...
So, but is your culture, when she's saying is the culture more important than Islam, is because you see white women, you want white women, but you also want to keep your membership in the community. And the community is looking at these white women and they're seeing a lot of Britishness to them. And they're like, this is foreign. You're being you as a man are giving in, so you're disgusting. You know how you're fetishizing white women, and the reason why you got this white woman to marry with, like gross. You little, man slut, huh? I know what's happening here. This is, you're giving into the stereotype that Muslim men want white women, and that's why you chose her, didn't you? So there's like a taboo in society, in the Muslim community, regarding that. And so she's not really Muslim, she's more British than Muslim. And you marrying her shows that you're betraying your own community, and you're just basically following your sexual desires. So this is taboo by society, but more importantly, so this is what the part that's saying your why is culture more important than Islam. She's saying, I'm Muslim, so why are you looking at my British culture? That's what she's saying. Like, I have the Muslim identity card. Let me in. Let me in. You know that meme that somebody has a gay, like, let me in. I'm Muslim. Like, why are you seeing me as British? Right? That's what she means by culture. Right? But then the part that didn't make it into the audio, look at the screen.
Islam. Whose word are you taking?
Whose word are you taking? Look at the text. Your mom's or Allah's, right? So, like, in the eyes of Allah, I'm a Muslim. Why are you listening to your mom? Oh God, this is so telling. This is so telling. This is interesting. I haven't seen something like this before. Okay, so I'm interested in learning more about this aspect of this. Yeah, she's not a good Muslim. She's white. Wow. The racism. But if it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you marry her, like, you want white women, then she'll like, this brown woman was not good enough for you. You're racist now. You're racist because you went and picked a white woman because that's what you like, right? But so if you marry her, you're gonna be racist, right? But if you don't marry her, like, I thought Islam was above race. I thought you guys said that we don't care. We are anti-racism. So I thought all are equal when they join Islam. So what happened, huh? Why are you guys rejecting me? So Islam does care about ethnicity and race. So this is like, by the way, this is not going to be a problem for her, okay? She's going to find somebody. I mean, how many views? Do we actually share her account? I want to make sure we give her credit. Oh, wow. Her account name is Your Favorite Revert. Her account name is Your Favorite Revert. Well, maybe, apparently not. Apparently not. That's her account name. Okay, so that didn't work out. But don't worry, it's okay. It will work out because a lot of people are gonna see this and we're like, oh my God, there's a white Muslim woman that nobody is picking. Like, well, share your number, lady, because I'm right here. Oh, look at I'm a brown revert and the struggle is real even from. Oh, so the top comment is from another woman saying, I'm a brown revert and the struggle is real even for me. And somebody else is saying, I'm a brown convert and people ask me still if I converted due to marriage. Wow. So Muslims are asking these women that if they became Muslim just so that they could get more men for marriage purposes. What, are there not enough British men that these women are resorting to converting to Islam? So the Muslim community is skeptical. They think that these women are just hunting men, and that's why they are converting to Islam. This is funny. Wow. Okay. Let me actually respond to some of your comments that Alfred has highlighted. Alfred highlighted this one. If Islam is so bad, why do Western women keep falling for them? Well, I think I already answered that. Anti-Islam saying newcomers have a lack of critical thinking. Anti-Islam, the average person, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, is not spending time trying to figure out how to have proper critical thinking skills. And why should they? They're too busy living. Like, not everybody people are busy, people are emotional, people require to satisfy their emotions, people have a job, they have a family, they have so many other things to worry about. uh it's unreasonable for us to think that everybody could come and just sit and get critical thinking skills and evaluate everything in their life accordingly, right? That is like, that's not how the most of the human mind operates. And maybe it's we are being the unreasonable one waiting for that to happen. We have to deal with reality as it is, and you have to look at the humans as a social animal, and the way that they mostly are operating is the way that their nature dictates them for most of them to operate. So instead of wishing for them to behave differently, we have to be reasonable and deal with the reality that we have, right? Not the reality that we wish for. Alex is saying Buddhism is basically the closest major religion to atheism. No gods. Yeah, Buddhism might be atheistic, but it's also insane. Um, like it's also harmful, just like other religions. Antiism. Many of the new converts, especially women, will end up become apostates. LOL. Islam is trendy for this generation. Like the Tater taught the okay, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, but a lot of them, again, the trend will make as, yeah, some people will join Islam, many of them will leave Islam eventually, but many of them will stay Muslim. The trend is that you're going to see more of Islam. Alex saying there are literally Muslims born in Islamic countries who didn't even know atheism existed until the internet. True. True, true, true. Oh, Dali saying, I think now they're trying to rebrand the outside image of Islam of being inclusive, LGBT friendly, accepting non-hijabis, etc., which is not, because this is how they want them to think like this. So it's true, Dali, but it's not being. This is not happening deliberately. Like there's no centralized planner. There's no Muslims getting in a room thinking, "Oh, let's do this to rebrand Islam." So this happens organically. So when we say they're rebranding, there's no conscious group of people. I mean, there are, but they are not the force behind it. The actual force is something organic. It's mostly a survival of memes that happens organically within society. It works, so it grows. If it works, it grows. It's a Darwinian. It's a Darwinian process that happens without anybody intentionally trying to take it into that direction. If something works, it survives. If it survives, it grows. It doesn't require some Muslims to get around together and make a plan to make that happen. Bernard saying your atheist movement has nothing to offer, no morals, no festivals, or else too small. Yeah, so that's why we're not just the Atheist Republic is not just an atheist movement, is a liberal movement as well. Atheism, like I said, the example I give is, for example, imagine if you have insurance for your house, and then your house burns down. Like you lose your house, you go to insurance company, you ask for money, you realize it was a fraud company, that they're not going to provide you with any money. Now I, as your friend, I'm going to go get insurance, and then you come, and I'm looking at the same company that you had insurance with. You come to me and you tell me, like, Armin, don't go with this insurance company. It's a lie. It's a fraud. They're con artists. They're not going to give you money. Imagine if I came to you and said, like, okay, well, if you're telling me not to go with this insurance company, then you give me insurance. And like, well, I don't have insurance. I'm not an insurance company. I'm just telling you that this insurance doesn't provide you with money. I'm like, no, you're telling me to not go with them, then you give me insurance. Like, you're being unreasonable. I don't have insurance. So this example that I'm giving you is basically what atheism does. Atheism is not going to provide you with anything. Atheism is telling you that is a lie. Atheism is saying the God claim is unfounded. Then, like, okay, well, if you are saying that that's a lie, then you give me those things that I want. Well, atheism cannot give you those things. I'm telling you, you're right. Atheism, it will not. Atheism is just identifying, like, It doesn't. Atheism is just the lack of belief in the existence of God. That's all there is, and it's justified. It's a justified position, even if it doesn't provide you with anything else. The lack of belief in the existence of God is a justified position. So then you say, oh, atheism doesn't give that. Yeah, I admit it. Atheism doesn't give you anything else. That's why we here advocate for not just atheism. Atheism identifies that that's not valid, but then we come up with liberalism, with science, with enlightenment values, right? With skepticism, with humanism, with utilitarianism, with empiricism, many other things that we add to that. So atheism is a lack of something, so we add a whole bunch of other things here on this channel as an alternative to the to traditional or religious models. Okay. Yeah, and people on Twitter, please come over on YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search for Atheist Republic on YouTube. Somebody saying, atheists who blindly hate religion are so cringe. If people follow religion to better themselves and don't adopt all other BS, indoctrination, preaching, then it's fine by me. So I don't blindly hate religion. I hate religion for good reason. Okay, so I'm not saying don't hate religion. It's justified to hate religion. I say don't hate religious people, right? Because even if I hate religion, I could see why people would become religious. And even if I couldn't see that, I don't hate people for being wrong, right? Religion is harmful. Religion is a disease. Religion reduces well-being in society, right? Even though it fulfills some of your needs, it comes with baggage. We have alternative ways of fulfilling those needs without the baggage of religion that harms society, right? And so, yeah, if you blindly hate something, that is incorrect. But you're assuming that your statement comes with the assumption that hating religion is only blindly, because I hate religion and I have good justifiable reason for it. Like you say, if people follow religion to better themselves and don't adopt all the other indoctrination, preaching, then it's fine by me. Well, you're wrong. Any belief system that is founded based on falsehood is spreading falsehood in society, and falsehood in society reduces the average level of prosperity, growth, and well-being in society, right? So in fact, if you have a version of that religion that doesn't have certain negative elements of the teachings of that religion, that actually becomes more dangerous. If you took Islam and brought a religion that didn't advocate for all the harmful things that Islam advocates for, but it had that foundation that is based on faith, revelation, and God, that is actually more dangerous, because people are not going to see the problem with it, and that virus will spread in society more, much more effectively, and it will justify having beliefs that is founded upon falsehood. So it will spread falsehood even more effectively. So that is my reason to be hating religion. But again, I advocate for not hating religious people, but the hatred towards religion itself is completely justified. Okay, we got a super chat, and then after this, I'm going to head out. Guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream. I need this channel to grow. Make sure you leave a comment after the show is over. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here. Compliment me about my new microphone. Tell me if the audio is better, if you're noticing an improvement in the audio. Okay, make sure you mention that in the comment section. Praise the algorithm YouTube gods for blessing this channel and helping it grow. Like, please, those are the only gods that we believe here on Atheist Republic. Do all of that. Make sure you hit the bell. If you're subscribed, double check if you have hit the bell notification, so that every time we go live, YouTube actually tells you that we're live. Okay, and recommend this channel to your friends and enemies. Asian American with the $5 super chat saying, do you think video game adaptations like Black Myth, Wukong would secularize or reform religion? Video game adaptations like Black Myth. Okay, so I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel. when it comes to, I don't even know how to begin to answer that question. Video games adaptations will secularize or reform religion. I don't even understand this question. How would that secularize or reform religion? Okay, when it comes to creating tribes and symbols, um, and phrases and culture that work, we already have a long history of ideas, and that has been tested, right? We don't need to micro engineer things, right? No, this is focusing on empiricism rather than rationalism. The human mind is not capable of try to engineer rituals or symbols that work, right? Instead of doing that, what you have to do is observe and encourage what's working instead of trying to introduce something else, right? If you're trying to do it within social sciences, the people who are heavily focusing too much on rationalism and think that they could introduce something to society that the entire society adopts, they don't understand social sciences. Within social sciences, your job is to rely on observation and empiricism more than on rationalization. Not to throw rationalization away, but more on observation and empiricism. Rationalization should be 10% of what you're doing. Empiricism and observation should be 90% of what you're doing, right? Anyways, I think I answered that. Like, don't. This is what throughout history you could see that many of the political theorists, they were actually did not revolutionize society in the same sense that we thought. They're actually a product of what the wisdom of the crowd was realizing that works best at the time, and the philosophers and the theorists were just a reflection of what's happening at society in society already. So yeah, don't try to solve things yourself, so from a central rational perspective. Just observe society and try to encourage what's already working. That's my suggestion. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Make sure that you like the stream. Make sure you give me feedback, compliments, do all of the things that I already mentioned. You know what to do. Just do them. This channel is worth growing. Okay, we need a bigger audience. So please do what you can to help us grow. Thank you, and thank you for all the people who use super chats and for all the people who became member and all of that. Okay, thank you guys. Mwah. Stay liberal.